Welcome back to the Pittsburgh Sports Saviors. It's about 7:34, October 13th. Steelers come through with a big win tonight, Lee.
Yeah.
This afternoon, Lee. 32 to 13. How do you feeling after the big win that you thought was never going to happen?
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be a big win, and I didn't think I thought this was a game they were going to lose, but it feels good to actually get a nice win, a nice double-digit win, to be exact, almost a 20-point win. It was definitely slow start. I was like, I wasn't too hopeful in the beginning, but as the game went on, I was like, okay, this is what we want to see from the Steelers. So I was very excited, and happy that we got a nice little victory here.
Yeah, I forgot what an easy win looked like and felt like. It was nice to finally get one for sure. Defense played great. They gave up some yardage, but when it came time to get a stop or get a turnover, they did their job. I see you have a cat on your lap. I have two more bitches that we got to bring in real quick. Let's say hi to Jamie-Lynn and Jessica, live from the Justin Timberlake concert.
Oh,
hey, how you doing?
Justin Timberlake.
Hi, how are you? Hi, everyone. We watched the Steelers from Washington, D.C.
Nice.
That's the two of them. I'm sure they'll come back at some point later on. They're good people here. But for now, let's talk a little bit about that game. TJ Watt, forced fumbles. What do we else have? We got one interception from Dante Jackson.
Yeah.
What else we get here? Was that it?
We had a block punt.
Block punt by Moon. Just a lot of stuff going on from the Steelers on that side of the field.
See, this is like last week. Fumbles, turnovers, and a special team play, and they win. Last week, they couldn't do that. They had the exact same scenario last week where they had 3 turnovers and a blocked field goal. This week, they get 3 turnovers and a blocked punt, and they win, but they lost last week. And I'm thinking to myself, why couldn't they get a win like this, how it was with the turnovers today than last week?
Yeah, this is how it's supposed to happen. You're right.
Yeah.
When you get 3 turnovers, when you don't really turn the ball over yourself, you're supposed to win 32 to 13, and that's what the Steelers did this week. So that's a positive sign for sure. Justin Fields ends up 14 to 24, 145 yards. The passing game still has room for improvement. 3 sacks for 35 yards lost on those sacks. So some big sacks there. They took Justin Fields 11 for 59, 2 touchdowns on the ground though. So he ended up having over 206 yards, 204 yards total offense from him there. I thought that was a positive little spin there. Najee Harris finally has a breakout game. I called for the breakout last week against Dallas, but instead of last week, we get it this week. 14 carries, 106 yards and a touchdown, 36-yard long. He looked great out there. Warren comes back, doesn't do too well himself, but Russ, I'm sure, is there. He had 6 carries for 7 yards. Maybe they should have held him out another week. Who knows? But it was just nice to see him out there in general. Receiving wise, Fields didn't move the ball around too much, but we got 3 catches for 53 yards for Pickens, 2 for 36 for Austin, 2 for 16 for Najee, 2 for 16 for Freiermuth, 3 for 11 for Warren, 1 for 9 for Washington, 1 for 4 for Hayward. That's the offensive stats. Is there anything that jumps out to you and that you want to bring up?
Yeah, TJ Watt, 2 great forced fumbles. With those, just the straight punch straight to the ball, which was nice. Najee Harris for sure. That was a big performance by him. Definitely, like you said, you called it for last week, but it was definitely a good breakout game for him. I mean, he over 100 yards rushing, which was great. And then of course Justin Fields with some nice runs there as well. So it was just good to see that running game get going this week during this game than it's done in the previous weeks.
Just 1 sack from the defense here. That was Cam Hayward. It was a nice little sack there. He pretty much devoured O'Connell on that play, I think. That was nice to see. As we talked before, we got 1 interception from Dante Jackson. He returned that 24 yards with 2 forced fumbles. from TJ Watt. Recoveries on those, do you remember offhand? I can't remember offhand. The recovery.
No, I'm not sure who recovered them, but yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, it was the sacks weren't there, but everything else defensively, I just thought was awesome. First drive, it was scary. They come out there and they go. What did they do on their first drive there? They went 10 plays, 70 yards for 5 minutes and 55 seconds. They just ran the ball right down the throat of the Steelers there. It was concerning at that moment. But they were able to figure it out. And from that point on, really, it was pretty solid for the defense. You got the team stats here just to give us a little outline.
Some team stats here. Yeah, right here. Again, final score, 32-13, Steelers over the Raiders. Total yards, Steelers 293 to the Raiders 275. Pass yards, pretty slow for us. 110 pass yards for the Steelers to the Raiders 218. That's something that hasn't been getting going. That's something they got to try to figure out, get some more pass yards going. But this was the nice turnout today. Talked about earlier, the rush yards. Steelers 183 rushing yards to the Raiders 57. It was good that the defense stopped their run, something that, we're known for doing. But, Najee with a big 100-yard game. Yards per play were about the same. Steelers 4.7 yards per play to the Raiders 4.6 yards per play. First downs are about the same. Steelers 18 and the Raiders 16. Third down efficiency was not that great today. 4 for 13. This is something that the Steelers need to work on as well. I mean, this is just something we talk about each week. It needs to get improved. Raiders went for 2 for 11. Fourth down efficiency, Steelers 1 for 1 to the Raiders 1 for 3. Total plays were about the same. Steelers 62, Raiders 60. Steelers were sacked 3 times. The Raiders were sacked once. Steelers punted the ball 3 times. Raiders punted 4 times. Penalty yards, again, this is just a known thing each week. I just don't get it. Penalty yards, 7 for 50 for the Steelers to the Raiders, 4 for 42. Again, we did not turn the ball over, but the Raiders fumbled the ball twice, and there was 1 interception thrown, like you mentioned, in time of possession. Steelers 31 minutes and 51 seconds to the Raiders 28 minutes and 9 seconds. So definitely some improvement in the rushing. Again, no turnovers there on our offense, and we got some turnovers on defense. But we got to figure out something with the passing game, got to get that going. Third down efficiency is another area that we've talked about, needs improved. In the penalty yards, it just seems like it's every week we're talking about it. But other than that, pretty solid game by the Steelers.
Yeah, you touched on it for a second, but yeah, the rushing, great improvement. They outrushed them 3-1, 183 to 57. That's something that they haven't really been doing. Like we said, Najee was able to break out some good runs there. Fields had both design runs and some scrambles that just really were great to see. We talked about that a little bit, about if there's not something there, he has to start pulling the ball down, and he did that today a little better than he did last week against Dallas. That was something that I was really happy to see there. Right now we're looking at 4-2. We got the Jets and the Giants coming up next. 2 winnable games there before the bye week, and then it's gonna get harder. But they did the first step, as we were saying. We needed to get the win here today. They got the win here today. The Raiders fall to 2-4. Looking around the division, the Bengals play tonight. They're currently sitting at 1-4. The Browns weren't able to come back on the Eagles, so they fell again. They're looking pretty awful, 1-5. Deshaun Watson just is not the guy he used to be, and it's at the point now where this is the guy he is. It's not. You can't keep saying, "Oh, maybe he'll find it." He's not. At this point, I think he's done. Ravens had a great win today against the Redskins or the Commanders. Wow, I haven't done that in a long time. We might be kicked off tonight. Anyway, they ended up winning 30-23 against the Commanders. So right now, Ravens Steelers atop the division at 4-2. How are you liking the odds in this division right now? What are you thinking? The Steelers gonna still got a shot here, or with that schedule coming up, it's gonna be rough?
I think they still have a shot. I mean, you know, with a Bengals loss tonight, if it happens, you know, they're right now they're tied for first place with the Ravens. Of course, they still haven't played any division games, but I still think they have a chance to win this division. Of course, it's going to be tough because we play all 6 of our division games at the second half of the season after the bye week. So, you know, I mean, it's going to be tough, but I still think the Steelers have a chance to pull this off.
Here's a message from a similar name to mine. I think that is my father. That's TJ Watt. 2 punches. He's talking about those 2 fumbles. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the way he got? We brought up the fumbles, but yeah, we didn't talk about the actual punches that he pulled off 2 times in one game to get the peanut. I'm going to call it the peanut punch, obviously from the Chicago Bears legend, the Peanut Tillman. Was one of the first guys that was really doing that a lot, but now it seems to be everyone in the league's doing it. And when Watt does it, he's throwing a haymaker to get that ball out.
Yeah, no, it's you know, you see it on the first one. It was just like perfect precision, right on the ball. He knocks it right out of the player's hand, and then he does it for a second time, right on the goal line. Just great. I mean, two times in this game, he has seemed to perfect it because this is something we've seen him do over the years. You know, he's perfected that punch out, you know, for the ball to get a forced fumble. He's had a couple of those over his career, and he's definitely perfected it. It's great to see him do that. And, you know, you want to see it every game. It doesn't happen. Not everybody's, you know, going to get it every time, but it was great to get 2 this game. It was nice.
Yeah. And when he does it, he's swinging. He's not playing around at all. I remember times where he's missed where it's like almost like a punch to a guy's gut and stuff. But yeah, it was a nice little move there. Good comment from Mr. Toomey there. Mike Tomlin had his press conference. I figure I'll pull that up. Let me get it all set up here. You want to talk about anything specifically as I'm doing this? Go ahead and bring it up.
No, I just think it was definitely a good game. This is how a game's supposed to be when you have multiple turnovers and then a special team play with the block, with the punt, you know, and getting close to the, you know, in the red zone. I would have liked to at least seen some more points off of some of them turnovers.
Yes.
And maybe even, you know, more touchdowns off of those turnovers that are close in the red zone. But again, this is how it's supposed to be. It wasn't like this last week with that Dallas game, but this is how you're supposed to win a game with multiple turnovers like this in a game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nice to have a fourth quarter where you're just not worried. You can just relax and have fun, enjoy a game. When's the last time we got to just enjoy watching the Steelers play? I'm happy for that.
Yeah.
Like you said about the points off turnovers, it's good. There's signs that they're moving around, not with the passing game, but that the running game tonight was really solid.
It was really good. Yeah.
But I do have Tomlin ready, so let's pull him up and see what he had to say post game today.
Yeah.
And whatever. You know, I think the first thing that needs to be said is just really taken aback by the support that we got here from our fans, Steeler Nation. You know, continually, man, they show up, man. I just thought it was awesome, man. The environment for a road venue was special. It was special to be a part of. A lot of good things.
Yeah, that's something we didn't talk about yet. Yeah. Like happens a lot with the Steelers. They just have a perfect home crowd everywhere they go. It's whether the road or at home, you're going to get Steeler terrible towels in the stadium. You're going to get loudness on third downs for the offenses. It's something that's special. That it's special to Pittsburgh, I think, where they just travel.
Yeah, the best traveling fans in the NFL for sure. They do make every game, whether it's home or away, a home game for sure. I mean, you just see all those terrible towels in the stadium. And the fact that there was a point during that game where they showed that they put all those Raider towels over the chairs, and then the game's going, and it's just terrible towels being slung throughout the whole stadium. It's just crazy to see because, you know, that's it's like it's not the Raiders' home. It was like a Steelers home game. It wasn't even a home game for the Raiders, you know. So again, the best traveling fans in the NFL. I mean, it was just amazing to see them all out there, come out there and support the Steelers like that. So it was just great to see. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm. That's he's going to talk about the actual game now, I think.
You know, the splash plays, the block punt. Can't say enough about TJ that hadn't already been said in terms of his ability to impact the game in a variety of ways. It is special. We're not surprised by it, but it's still special. I thought penalties slowed us down some, particularly early in the game. Self-inflicted wounds, holding calls, and things of that nature kind of stopped the fluidity in which we were moving the ball. I thought once we got over that, we were playing the style of ball that we desired to play.
There you go, Lee. Shout out Lee Tambora.
Yeah, self-inflicted wounds. He says that every week. Self-inflicted wounds. I mean, this is something that's just rudimentary that, you know, we bring up every week, it seems. And it's something that you would think that they would nip it in the butt in practice. But it's like every game, you know, I'm going to have to go back. I want to do some research on the stats, what they're averaging for how many penalties per game over the past, you know, couple seasons. I mean, it just seems like they're doing this and they're giving up too many yards. I mean, it was something, in the beginning of the game, like he said, it was killing them. I mean, it's something you can't have. They got to work on this. It's self-inflicted wounds, and they have to figure out a way to stop this because it's not helping them at all.
Yeah, it would be good to see if this would be a big project for you. I don't know if I'm going to put that on you to do, but if you could see when penalties are happening too on like big third downs, how many yards they're losing on stuff like that, and how that compares to other teams in the league. Because when you're a fan of a team, you can't get tunnel vision to think that you're the only team that's out there doing the penalties and having the bad plays. But I would like to see how they do compared to the rest of the league and everything too.
Yeah, for sure.
Just really appreciative of getting back on track and handling our business and winning, because that's what this business is about. Zach Frazier's got an ankle injury. It'll be evaluated. There was some other guys that went out of the game but were able to return. Minka was able to go back with a shoulder. Dante Jackson was able to go back with a shoulder, to name a few. We'll keep assessing those things. I'll give you an update next time we come together on some of the medical things. But along the medical lines, I just thought it was an awesome game in that we had a lot of guys getting elevated and getting an opportunity to contribute who hadn't. And I'm just really thankful for their efforts, man, and just the collective attention to detail that allows that to happen when you got guys that are being elevated that lack a little in-game experience and stuff like that. Usually it's a collective in terms of communication and so forth to make sure the day comes off with fluidity. I'll pause and open it up for questions.
Thoughts on that? I brought up Warren coming back. He ended up getting 9 touches in total. I was in there for some pass blocking also, but it is nice to see some guys coming back. Anyone else that you can think of that's back out there, or other guys that are getting to step up because of injuries there?
Yeah, no, it was good to see Warren out there. We haven't seen him in a while to get some touches, and I can't think if there was anybody else that I could recall that came up that from an injury that was back in, but any of the guys that were in there, Peyton Wilson getting some plays, getting to see, Roman Wilson. He didn't get any targets.
Yeah, finally,
that was the other guy. That's what I was thinking. Roman Wilson was out there on some plays.
Yeah.
He didn't get any targets, but just good to see him out there on the field as well. So hopefully as the season progresses, he'll be able to get out there and get some targets and maybe some catches and stuff, during the rest of this season. But it was just good to see some of those guys that have been injured over the beginning of the season to at least get out there and get some reps and stuff. So it was good to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
TJ, but in a game where you're without 3 of your linebackers and he punches that ball out twice and makes plays like that in those moments, it's the difference maker, obviously.
Again, I don't know what other way to state it other than I'm not surprised by it, but it doesn't make it any less amazing. If you've been around him during the course of his career here, you just know that he is going to seize those moments. He's going to rise up and be what we need him to be. in some form or fashion. And I just think today was a reflection of it. It's just another chapter in his awesome story that is his career.
Yep. Last week he gets his 100th sack. This week he comes out here and gets 2 forced fumbles. Like he's saying, it's something new every week, but it's never something that you're surprised to see.
Not at all. I mean, he's so talented. I mean, I could see him winning Defensive Player of the Year again, depending on the rest of the season. He's just so talented. He's, amazing that he's on the team and, is able to make big plays like that and, do something like you just said, something different every week. It's something just amazing to see. I'm glad he's on the Steelers and, and nowhere else. I mean, just making plays for us. He's definitely the captain of that defense. And I think that they definitely, when he's making plays, the defense kind of, get amped up, whenever he's making a play and other things kind of happen on that defense. So it's just amazing to see, like Tomlin just said.
Yeah, and you had mentioned his sacks on the year are down a little bit, but like he still can affect the game like he did today. And it just a good sign. You like you're saying, you want your stars to be your stars. You want them to be the ones making plays, and that's what happened today on defense, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
What was the difference in the run game, and is that as minimal as you've seen in our game?
I just thought it was a collective effort. Not only the bigs, but the perimeter people. And obviously Naj and everyone else. But I just thought anytime you have a run output like that, it's not an individual. It is a collective. That breakout run, I think Muth sealed the corner and allowed him to go. When I look at it, I just felt the collective energy and effort that was necessary.
Anyone else?
Coach, how did you feel about Justin today?
I thought he did a nice job, particularly making some things happen with his legs. Managing the circumstances and taking care of the ball. Obviously, he took a few hits, but he's a tough guy. I'm glad he's okay, and we'll keep moving.
Yeah, I don't think I let you talk about Fields too much. I kind of went off on what I thought, but what were your thoughts on Fields today?
I thought he had a decent performance. Again, the one area that I just really want to see some improvement is the passing yards. I mean, it's not something that we've really seen to really spark over these first few weeks of the season. He's definitely a great runner. He's really not making any mistakes that we've seen. Of course, there was an interception that he threw, but of course it was negated by a penalty. So, it worked in our favor, but we really haven't seen too many mistakes by him. So he's been pretty precise there, but throwing the ball has been an area that we haven't seen too much from him to do that, I want to see some improvement with. But he's definitely been running the ball great, making some good plays and things like that. I just hope that they can open up that playbook a little bit for him to get some passing in there is all.
Yeah, and I hopefully if they are opening the playbook, he's able to succeed with the whatever they install for him to go forward a little bit too, because there is a two-way street. I want the playbook open, you want the playbook open, but if they're seeing something that they're afraid to put on his plate, maybe it's better off to not do it yet. You scored 32 points today. I know it's a lot of turnovers, obviously, that led that block punt too. That we really didn't talk too much about when I was going over the turnovers there. We did mention it, I know, but that was a punt block by Moon. He's another guy that got a chance and an opportunity. He took advantage of it here today. But yeah, I think Fields is going to be the starter for the rest of the season. I think you're on that train too right now. Barring injury, of course. And
barring any injury, I think that he is going to be the starter. I think that he has definitely proved himself over these first 6 games. That he can be a starter and make some decent plays and be able to get some wins. Again, there are a couple mistakes in that Indianapolis game and that Dallas game last week, but 4 wins out of 6 games so far. I mean, he's done pretty well, for this team, offensively as the quarterback. So I don't see Russell Wilson becoming a starter unless, like you said, barring any injury, down the road.
Yeah, like from a betting perspective, if like I was told, hey, you can have Russell Wilson total starts this season over under 2.5, I might be going under now. I could see him getting 2 starts, 1 start. Injuries can happen, all that.
Yeah.
But if we're starting to go to 3, 4, I don't think he's going to get that far up there. Betting, like if I had to bet, I think it's going to be 2 starts or less for Russell in the full season.
Same here. Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Same here.
Coach, after the loss last week, you mentioned getting back on track. How important is it to get a win and a decisive win like this?
You know, winning is our business. Football is our game. Winning is our business. We hadn't been handling business. And so it's just good to get back to taking care of business. This is a normal state for us. It needs to be.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
We're bringing Justin.
That's a brief one. Maybe I'll go through the scoring summary here, and then we'll check to see if there's any more interviews to look into here.
Okay.
We do have some messages.
I did like his last comment real quick. That's the way the game's supposed to go. When you're playing the way you play today, it should be a victory like that with a double-digit win and a high-scoring points, for the Steelers. I mean, when you're playing like that, I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. That's what we want to see every week.
Yeah, Harris, as we got messages here about Harris, a couple of them here. He's excited about Harris, and I agree with him. Harris is our MVP of the game, when you say. I would put Harris as the MVP. TJ Watt, though, I don't know. Would you go TJ or Harris for this week? Who's your MVP?
I mean, I think I'd go TJ. I think because of those 2 forced fumbles, especially with the punch outs, that was like game changer right there to get us some points, especially that one on the goal line to get them to not be able to score right there. I mean, I think that helped us solidify a higher, scoring win over the Raiders with that defensive punch out, for the forced fumble. So, but I'm not taking away what Harris did today. It was a great game by him, over 100 yards, first one for the season, and he got his first touchdown of the season. So he had a phenomenal game, but TJ definitely MVP of the game.
Yeah, and another thing for in favor of Najee is I think one of the reporters mentioned it. He did seem to have a little bit more wiggle to him today. He seemed to have something a little more fresh that we haven't seen from him completely last few weeks or so. He seemed to have a little more freshness to him.
Yeah.
So let me shift through this scoring summary real quick. Steelers led the game off with a 9-play, 37-yard drive to make it 3-0 with a field goal. Raiders come out 10 plays, 70 yards, took the ball for about 6 minutes to make it 7-3. At that point, we're looking at this and saying, this might be another same old thing from the Steelers where they just can't pull off a win. The 2 teams trade some punts on 3 and outs. Steelers 3 and out, 3 plays, -2. Raiders 3 plays, 6 yards. Steelers next drive, they go 10 plays, 43 yards, get a field goal to make it 7-6. Next 2 drives for the teams are once again punts, 3 plays, 9 yards for the Raiders, 8 plays, 16 yards for the Steelers. They punt after the Steelers punt the ball. Within 4 plays, the Raiders fumble. That's the first one that TJ Watt punched out. Steelers capitalize on that with a touchdown, 6 plays, 30 yards to make the score 12-7. They were unable to convert the 2-point conversion there. Next drive is the Raiders to end the half. They go 5 plays, 18 yards. They ended up throwing a bomb to the end zone, right? Or no, they just
Threw a Hail Mary,
it got swatted at the ground. So at halftime, we're looking at a 12-7 score. What were your thoughts at half? And I even at 12-7, I was feeling pretty comfortable with the way the Steelers defense was playing at that point. And the offense is the offense. I think it's kind of what it feels like right now.
Yeah, I agree. It was just after that first drive, like you said, I was kind of like, well, this might just be a regular Steeler game. But then they were able to just hold them to 7 for that first half and not, give up anything. And I was fine with the defense at that point. I thought that maybe we wouldn't really score any touchdowns after that. I thought it was just going to be field goals for the rest of the game at first because of just how the offense was moving. So that's what I kind of thought at halftime.
So the first drive of the second half, the Raiders come out. We force a fourth down. Boom, block punt like we talked about. Steelers get the ball in the red zone, but they aren't able to capitalize. They actually lose 10 yards in 4 plays, but they end up getting a field goal to make it 15-7. Next drive for the Raiders, another punt, 3 plays, 4 yards. Great defense that drive. Steelers come get the ball back. This is their best drive of the game. I'd say 7 plays, 80 yards for a touchdown. That was Najee's big drive, I believe. Yeah, he had 26-yard carry on that drive. Is that the same one he has the 36, or is that later on too? Either way, 36 yards. Yeah, so he had a 26-yarder and a 36-yarder on that drive, which is a great little drive there for Harris to make that score 22-7. Next drive, the Raiders get the ball. They're driving well, but that ends up with a fumble at the goal line almost. TJ Watt forces again, makes score stays 22-7 at that point. Steelers can't capitalize on that one. They punt the ball, but once again, the defense shows up. 3 plays, -9 yards for the Raiders, which ends in an interception by Dante Jackson. Steelers do capitalize on that one, get the touchdown, make it 29-7. Raiders drive on a late drive, make it 29-13 on a touchdown, 10 plays, 70 yards. Steelers come back and get a field goal in a short field after the onside kick attempt, make it 32-13. And that's how we end the game. 4 plays, 5 yards for the Raiders on the last drive. They weren't able to get a first down. The Steelers come back and nail the ball. 32-13. Fun win, easy win. Defense showed up when it was time to show up. There were a couple extended drives from the Raiders, but it wasn't enough to actually get that ball into the end zone.
No, exactly. And like you said, easy, fun win for the Steelers. It was great to see them actually, win a game with the turnovers and the way that defense played today. I mean, it was just phenomenal. This is definitely, Steelers defense for sure. They performed pretty well last week with the turnovers and, getting a special team block with a field goal, but, unfortunately it wasn't a win. But this is exactly like Mike Tomlin said, this is, you play like this. This is how a win is supposed to be. I mean, you want to hope that if they play like this, every week, that this is the outcome that it should be. I just, hope that they can, maybe you're right. Like you said, with the passing, if they're seeing something they don't want, him passing, then, that's fine for having him running. But I'd like to see some more passing, and, I'd like to see them figure out, getting some better third down efficiencies over the next couple games, and, at least decreasing the penalties. Those are just my big key things that I think they just really need to work on. But other than that, phenomenal win, fantastic win by the Steelers. This is exactly what we want to see every game.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of the things you're saying there. Tomlin sold us a little short, so I'm going to play a little Najee, see if he says anything interesting, and
Okay.
we'll send it home if we don't get anything we like.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll just open it up for questions then.
Najee, what was the difference in the run game today? It was a season high for you and making you ridiculous big runs.
It was a season high for me too.
Season high for you too, yeah, for the team as well.
You said what was it? Really, it was the how the offensive line, receivers, tight ends, all of them came together and realized that for us to be efficient in the run game, it takes all of us. I do what I do in pressing, but I can only do so much. At the same time, this isn't a team sport, so for the big plays to happen, for the splash plays that everyone want to see, everybody talk about they want to see more. It's just that it takes all 11 of us. So downfield blocking was a big thing that we try to get better, and that's the thing I think we did today. Finishing and straining through runs, straining through plays. If somebody breaks one, anybody pitch another block. If you look around the league, those are what sparks big runs. That's how big runs happen, is the downfield play from other guys. So I think that was just something that showed today.
Najee bringing the receipts. He's not going to let it go. Let everyone go with positivity. He could have went out here and said, "Oh yeah, we were great," but he's making good points with the way a lot of the struggles have been because of the offensive line and the receivers and blocking down the field and stuff. So I'm glad he took took this route. I was surprised by it. I thought he was just going to come out and give you the politically correct answer, but he didn't do that there.
Yeah, and it seems like this has been a nice little trend that he's continued with since last season when he came out and and spoke up about things that were going on with the offense last year as well. And I'm glad that he's continued this. Just speaking out and being factual and truthful about things. But he's right, like you said. It's there needs to be some improvement there with that, but they did play well today, but he's hoping that they can continue to do this to the future games for sure.
Going for the rest of the season, you think?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, the more that we come together and realize that we look on film and we see like, Pat threw a block right here, Miller, just certain guys just coming in there and blocking. I think that they'll see that, if we want to be efficient on both passing and running, that, you got to get you got to get there and block. There's a dirty part of everybody's job. For us, it's pass protection, getting a 4-yard run or just doing things like that. And for the receivers, it's getting there and blocking. Sometimes you got to block at the end and you're not, sized up well, but, you just getting something on him creates a bigger play. So I think that when we go and film and we see that, that's just going to be something to build upon.
When you're running towards the end zone there, do you have like a yard line where you kind of know, okay, I can dive from here? Is it all just feel? You only made it by a couple of inches. That was pretty impressive.
You saying, do I have like a certain?
Yeah, I mean, guy goes up for a dunk. He knows, like, oh, I can make it from the foul line or wherever. Do you have a spot where you can get to the goal line?
How you know that? You don't know that. I think that everybody believes, whenever I believe they could do something, they could do it. It doesn't care what people say or what they think is normal. Like if I say I want to jump from the free throw line like Michael Jordan did, you could jump from the free throw line. I don't put no type of restraints on what I could do because I know what I could do. I don't really care what other people say or think. So when I had the opportunity, I just took it. And I know I don't care if I was however far away, I know I could make it when I really believe in myself. So to answer your question, like, no.
I cannot jump from the free throw line. Lee, can you jump from the free throw line and dunk?
No, I don't even think I can dunk in general. To jump from the free throw line, that ain't happening.
So
but maybe if I did what he said, if I believe, maybe I can do it. Maybe I should go try and believe and then try it, see what happens.
I do respect. He's giving thoughtful answers. He's not just like going through the motions here. I do respect that. I maybe I haven't watched enough Najee to know that this is just how he does all the time. But this is an interesting. I don't know if interesting is the right word, but this has been a good watch.
Yeah, we may have to have some more interviews of him on here. I'd like to hear what else he has to say.
You have a run like you did in the second quarter, guys piling on you, kind of carrying them. Do you enjoy that? Do you, I don't know, put any intent into that? Like, what's your viewpoint on a run like that?
To spark the offense. You got to have some. And when drivers aren't going so well, you need a play that will spark it. I always try to be that person to spark the play. So really when that was some more of just like, what can I do for the team to know that, we got to keep pushing and this is a 4-quarter fight and, we need plays and create some type of excitement to know that like, all right, Najee did that. Let me do mines now. And then it should be a domino effect. The receivers do that. Tight ends make plays. Justin make plays. And, it's just a domino effect. So really it's just to give a spark for the team.
You had those brutal runs like that, but you bounced the touchdown outside. You put a nifty move on the guy in the open field another time. Do you feel that maybe you're, a little more nimble when you run at times?
Oh. What? I know, like I said, I know what I could do, man. Like, I don't know what y'all trying to get out of me. I've been doing that since college. I've been doing that in the league. It's just certain plays you can show more because, you're more open space one-on-one. Sometimes when the play is clogged, you ain't going to see me doing a move, like that. Like sometimes it's certain opportunities where you could make those type of moves. So I'm guessing you're talking about on that run where I broke. And yeah, man, I'm one-on-one with the corner. So that's something that me personally likes to have because those are opportunities I know I could win both hurdling, running over or making a move. So when that situation came, I saw him playing a little bit more on the outside and didn't want me to get out to the edge. So I knew that if I make a move, I did actually last week against the Seahawks, or not last week against the Cowboys So man, I'm not good at interviewing, man, because I'm actually too honest with what I say, man, and I don't have no filter. So I mean, I'm trying to keep this stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to keep this stuff. I'm trying to keep this stuff PG before I start cussing. So what's the
One more. Some of the guys in the locker room.
So there we go. That answers that question.
We got to have him on more. We got to get more interviews in. This is great. This is great.
I wish they wouldn't even have, like, they would just would have left him alone and just stayed quiet to see what else he was gonna say there. I think he's got one more question he's being asked here. Let's see where he goes with it.
Room mentioned that it looked like you had an extra edge coming into today.
Who said that?
Sean Elliott said it, or said it. They said maybe it's because Marshawn was here that you were changing beast mode. What kind of attitude did you have coming into today? Did you feel like you had another edge?
Before I was talking over it a little bit, she asked him if he had more of an edge because Marshawn Lynch was there today, and apparently one of the players, Deshaun Elliott, had mentioned that is the case. So this should be a fun answer, I think.
Okay.
Nah, I just feel like, man, we gotta get a win. I think we lost 2 in a row, so I mean, this is a perfect time to get another win and be a 4-2, and go on to play our next opponent. So that's really my mindset. Sorry, I can't make every game like that. I know y'all just waiting to write type something about me. I'm gonna try to do it again next game. You know what I mean? And maybe it'll be something good. But you know what I mean? It was just one of those games where shit started working good. I guess.
All right, thanks, man. We have Justin and TJ coming.
There we go.
There we go.
I think that Justin and TJ are more politically correct, so we're not going to play them. But we do have a guest. They're at a concert right now, but I'm going to let them get some word in before we head off today.
Right.
Jessica, what do you think of the game today, Jess? What do you think of the game today? What do you think of the game today?
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
I'll see you next week, Lee. It was a fun game.
Good.
Steelers win 32-13.
Big win.
I'm gonna give her one more shot.
Say hi, we're on the cast. I didn't know you were so high.
What were your
Look
thoughts?
at that, some shitty ass sheets. Thoughts on the game.
All right.
Lee, I'll see you next week.
I'll see you.